So, I want you to think about a time where you were super anxious or stressed. How much thinking were you doing? Now, think about a time where you were very happy. How much thinking were you doing that time? Most likely none or very little. When it comes down to it, happiness is one pointed thinking, like being fully absorbed in one thing. And to prove this, I'm going to spend this full video drawn. Right? I'm just going to draw lines and shit, and we'll see what comes out at the end. Most negative thoughts come from overthinking and underdeciding. So, the more time we can spend outside of our head, like doing like a singular task, the happier we'll be. Anxiety is a clear example. Your mind is just ruminating on like countless things. What if I mess up? What do they think of me? How will this affect my future? That's the opposite of happiness, which is essentially having one singular focus. Or think back to being a kid at Christmas. You weren't worried or over analysing. You were just there, fully absorbed in the excitement of what presents you were going to get, right? That's happiness. Even with work, it's not about whether the job is good or bad. You could be doing something that people see as a bad job, like being a bin man, and you could still be happier in that role than if you were in a high paying office role. Why? Because there's a focus. You get the bin, you move to the next action, you move on to the next street, you get the next bin, right? There's a flow to it, and you're almost forced to be in the moment. So if we look at hating your job, you're constantly watching the clock, thinking about quitting, and you're everywhere but the present. But how do we build this one pointed focus? So you can find it through external things like video games, food, relationships, hobbies, and that's all great. But here's the key. The real power comes when you learn how to create that focus anywhere, to feel present without needing a distraction. And I'm not saying to not have these external things, right? I'm drawn right now and I'm in a flow state. My mind is fully focused on the rubbish that I'm drawing. And I'm pretty happy, right? But how can we create this state without needing a distraction? You're not going to like the answer, but meditate, right? Pretty standard advice. But the more you can notice in the moment when your mind is going off in multiple directions, the easier it will be to train your mind to stop. Over time, you'll learn to just be where your feet are. And from there, happiness becomes less about chasing something and more about mastering this one pointed focus.